Eighth point. In case of exception is generated and thrown from a try block, then the control is received by following catch block. And once the control is transferred from try block to catch block, it does not come back in any case. It does not come back in any case. If you see this code, now here exception is thrown, some exception is thrown. Thereafter, we have written two statements. When the two statements are executed, if no exception is created, then the two statements also are executed. Otherwise, they never be executed. That point you must remember. That means once the control is transferred from try block to following catch block, there is no question of returning. This control never comes back to the try block. So, in case of no exception happens, everything is all right, these statements are executed. And everything is all right, catch blocks are completely ignored. That point you must remember. That's why in catch blocks you have to place only exception handling code, nothing else. Understand? But in try block, if you want to put any relevant statements which are required for the execution of the task, you can put. In case of task is executed, no exception is thrown, these are executed. That point keenly understand that. So, if no exception is generated at any point, then as if no exception handling code is there, program is executed. In case of accident only, in case of throwing exception only, these have some role to play. That point always you remember. Next thing is 10th point. Try must follow one or more catch blocks, or finally block. Finally block, so far I didn't introduce, that is also block. I will explain a little later. Now you see, now what are the options? If you write try block, you must write one or more catch blocks. That is one option. You must write try block without having any catch block, only with a final block also you can write. Only finally is one block, that is also a block you may write. So, what are the combinations available? Try, one catch, one try, more catches, one try, one catch or more catches, and finally. Or what is the other alternative? Try and finally without any catch blocks. So, that point, but only thing is try alone should not be written. Try, catch, and finally you can write. Try, catches, multiple catch statements, and finally you can write. All the options you must remember. Writing try alone, without writing catch alone, or finally, that is illegal. Okay. And thereafter, a method, suppose where statements are executed in methods only. Obviously, you know that Java, no statement is executed independently, all executable statements and the body of the method. Suppose if you put a method, what you naturally put, you put a method, that method should contain only one type of statements, only one type of exception throwable statement. That means from one method multiple exceptions are thrown and all that, the scope is there, then compiler does not compile that code. So, in such case you have to bifurcate the code depending on the exception thrown and you have to write. Later we discuss that point. So, for one type of exception sake, one catch block you have to write. That's why just a simple example I have written. Suppose X, triple X class I have defined. So it deals with X. Triple Y class I have defined. It deals with Y. And triple Z class I have written. It deals with Z. Let us say from this code, there is a scope of 3 types of exceptions, like array index out of bound exception, number format exception, null pointer exception. So in that way, for every type of exception, different type of catch blocks, different catch blocks you have to write. That point you must remember. Thereafter, matching catch block. Actually, now here in the with reference to this example, y exception is thrown, y exception is thrown. So it comes here. It is not matching. Then it goes here. Here it gets the treatment. It handles that. Then it ignores the rest of that. Suppose Z, it ignores this one. It ignores this one. He is not the correct doctor. He is not the correct doctor. He is the correct doctor. Treatment is given here. So the exception is handled by the corresponding block. That's why how many scopes of exceptions are there, all that we have to write. Okay, and thereafter, here no statements between catch block and finally block also. Already I told you, between try block and catch block, between catch block and catch block. In the same manner, between catch block and finally block also, no statement is allowed to be written. So you should not write any statement in between either try block and catch block and catch block and finally block. Thereafter, so here you see that x, y, z we have written. Now here it throws some p type of exception. Here corresponding catch block is not there. Then what happens? Then default exception handling mechanism comes into the play. Then what it does? It searches. Any caller method is having exception handling mechanism for p. No caller is having that. Then exception handling mechanism, default exception handling mechanism terminates the program. That point you have to understand. So now you make it as a whatever we discussed and all that, you make it as one phase and understand all these points. Thereafter, we go to the next phase and let us learn the advanced elements of the previous one.